Feel our spine go tall, our shoulders relax. Let's gather in some deep breaths from the nose towards the belly. And then rest the breath out of the belly, back out of our nose. We'll feel our spine grow tall as we inhale, our shoulders, our hips relax as we exhale. Let's find those few long, deep breaths. With our ribs and the top of the head reaching up to the sky, let's send the ear to the shoulder and feel the side of the neck stretch open and breathe. And as we lift the top of the head to the sky, let's send it over to the other side. We'll lift up tall, pull the shoulder blades up and down a few times. With our shoulders resting, opening the palms, let's inhale, draw fingertips tall. Exhaling, thumbs to heart. Inhaling as we lengthen. Exhaling as we lower. Find one more breath. Inhale, lifting. And exhale, resting. Interlacing our fingers, pushing our knuckles out, pulling our belly in. Feel that reach through our shoulder blades. With our spine tall, pushing the palms out ahead of us, reaching forward. Shoulders resting, and then we'll start swaying side to side. Arms towards one side, arms towards the other side. Just a little stretch through the shoulders and the side body. Now we can stay chest level or pull the palms to the sky and reach over towards one side and then over towards the other side. Feel that stretch side to side. We feel a little evenness here, pushing the palms and lungs up to the sky. And we'll slide the fingertips back behind us, pushing the shoulder blades towards each other as we lift the collarbone, the throat, option to even float the tailbone off the ground. And as we find length in our spine, stretching the fingertips tall, let's twist, pulling the arms and ribs to one side, lengthening and rotating the spine. Let's come back to neutral, inhaling tall, exhaling to the other side, lengthening, twisting. Let's find neutral, reaching tall, and relaxing thumbs to the heart. Finding our way to all fours. Let's do wrists under shoulders, knees under hips, spine goes tall. Letting our inhale push our chest open, find Camel Pose. Exhaling, ribs up to the sky, folding in cat. Let's flow with our spine. Inhale, opening. Exhale, folding. We'll get just a little stretch through our breath as we breathe. We can stay with this flowing movement up and down as we find neutral. We can add side-to-side movement, shoulders and hips reaching in towards each other as we breathe. Maybe one more each side. And as we send our bodies into neutral, inhaling, right thigh up, heart reaching forward. Exhaling, thigh and ribs reach together. Inhale, pressing open. Exhale, fold. We'll get just a little bit of flowing movement through the legs, the chest. Stretch through our breath. And the next time we send the knee forward, let's pull it all the way through so we can create our lunge position. Arms where we feel stable. Letting our inhale push the hips and heart forward. Exhaling, relax the hips and thighs back. And we'll find a little flowing movement through the breath. Inhaling towards the lunge, exhaling towards the half pyramid. And create any range of motion, any pace of movement, whatever's working the best today. Relax into our breath. We can find a place of stillness, maybe lunge or half pyramid. Spine can stay tall. Maybe sinking our heart towards the thighs, feeling just a moment to relax through our breath. Letting our inhale go to the forward. And as we return to all fours, wrists under shoulders, knees under hips, add a little bit of movement side to side, shoulders and hips reaching towards each other. We'll release through the spine as we breathe. Maybe noticing one side feels a little different from the other. And when we feel like we've evened out, let's inhale the left thigh up to the sky, and then exhale, fold it in. Feeling openness with our inhales, fold with exhales, stretch and release with our breath. Next time we send the foot through, let's let the heel relax underneath the knee, arms where we feel stable. Letting our inhale push our hips and heart forward. Our exhale releases our hips and thighs back. Make flowing with our breath, feeling reach, release. With each exhale, relaxing through the breath. We're welcome to continue this flowing movement, maybe finding a place of stillness, continuing with the tall spine, or finding release, heart towards the thighs, and breathe. Relax here just for a moment. Letting our inhale pull the hips and heart forward. We can twist towards the front thigh, lifting our lungs. And then return to all fours. Wrists under shoulders, knees under hips. Find a few cat-cows. Inhale, opening the chest. Exhale, folding the chest. We'll feel just a little flowing movement in the spine. And with our next cow pose, or cat pose, we're going to send our hips to our heels and let our body fold into child's pose. Feeling relaxation and release through our breath. Our arms can stay forward. We can send both arms over to one side, stretching through the side body. And drawing back to the center, and maybe over to the other side, stretching through our side body. So we send our ribs back to neutral. Let's relax just a bit. Take a moment to breathe. With our next inhale, drawing our bodies into our kneeling plank, feeling the shoulders hanging out over the wrists, creating that length through the knees, through the top of the head. Feel the lift of the collarbone, the ribs, the lower belly, and then slowly begin to bend the elbows, sending our heart to the ground, and then sliding our elbows out by our side. With our lower belly pulled in, let's take a deep breath, and inhale, push the collarbone forward, and exhale, relax. Do a couple more. Inhale, exhale, rest. Sliding the elbows underneath, the shoulders pushing through the forearms as we find our Sphinx pose, sending the heart towards the thumbs. Breathe. As we feel the forearms pushing into the ground, feel your lower belly kick in. We're going to try to pick up our hips off of the ground. This forearm kneeling plank option to push into the toes and send the knees and hips up off the ground into this forearm plank. Take 2 breaths, wherever we're feeling the stretch, and breathe. And then if we've lifted the knees, we'll lower. If we've lifted the hips, we'll lower. Resting our chest as we slide the palms by the rib cage, upper arms squeezing in, lower belly kicking in. Inhale, lifting up the spine, and then pressing it all the way back to child's pose. Letting our bodies have a moment of relaxation and rest in child's pose. Maybe we feel like a downward dog, tucking into our toes, sending our tailbone to the sky, finding that tall spine with our legs straight or any bent, or maybe pulling one thigh forward, the other thigh back, creating just a little stretch and release as we breathe. Feeling that stretch in the back of our legs, lengthening through the spine. And then anytime we're ready, maybe sending our feet up towards our hands, relaxing into our forward fold. So maybe fingertips on the ground, maybe fingertips on the shins or the thighs. Having the option to let our head go a little bit up and down, maybe just a little bit side to side, maybe just a little bit up and down. Let our spine grow tall. Reach the back of the head through the hips. Pushing through the heels, let's inhale, lift the ribs up to the sky. Guiding one arm taller, then the other arm taller, reaching through our side body. With our inhale, pick up the lungs. Exhaling, palms to heart. So from here, we're going to add a little flowing movements with our heels under the hips. We're going to inhale, lift our heart to the sky. Sink our tailbone back to chair. Now with our next breath, we're going to pull one foot behind us. Inhale and pull the chest up towards the sky. And as we exhale, bring our bodies back into our chair pose. Let's trade legs. Inhaling, sending the other leg back, heart towards the sky, and then exhaling back to chair. Now we'll do that a few more times. Alternating legs. Inhale, opening back, exhaling forward. Inhaling other leg, opening back, exhaling forward. Just a couple more on each side, letting our body move with our breath. Reaching open, stretching in. Maybe one more each leg. As we find ourselves back in chair, creating that length through the tailbone, through the top of the head, and then relaxing the palms on the thighs. With our inhale, stretching our heart forward. With our exhale, folding our ribs in. Take a couple more breaths. Inhale, opening. Exhale, folding. Just a moment to breathe. As we send our fingertips to the ground, find forward fold. Our body loves this morning, and maybe our head and neck feels a little up and down movement, maybe a little bit of side to side movement, maybe a little bit up and down again. So we send both feet back behind us, find our way into downward dog or child's pose, maybe adding just a little flowing movement in our legs again, pushing one thigh forward, pressing the other thigh back, and breathe. We'll return to an all-fours position. Feel our spine grow tall. So from here, we're going to stretch one leg out to the side. We're going to pull the straight leg behind us out to the side, back behind us. Just a little movement for our hip and breathe. We're going to stay with straight leg. You can add a bent knee, feeling thigh pressing towards the shoulder, thigh pushing back. And then we're going to take the leg, reach it behind us, or toe can tap on the ground, and then maybe we lift the arm up towards the sky and pull the chest open towards the ceiling. And we'll release here, trading sides. So the other foot can reach out to the side and back, just a little flowing movement to our hips. Continuing with this movement with our straight leg, or adding the bent knee, thighs towards shoulders, thighs reaching back. Go and stretch here with our breath. And then we can send the foot back behind us, maybe even lifting up the chest towards the sky, feel that openness in our lungs. And then releasing. Resting in child's pose if that feels like a good option. And feel a little release in our shoulders, the ribs, the lower back. We can send both arms to one side, feel the side ribs open and breathe. Coming back to neutral, maybe over towards the other side. And as we come into child's pose, we can stay. We can inhale forward, finding our kneeling plank to stay. We can exhale, all those into the ribs. Maybe inhaling, stretching the heart open, and then exhaling, resting it all the way back. And breathe. We're welcome to continue in child's pose. If we feel like downward dog, we can stretch the spine tall. Maybe even finding a three-legged dog with the right toes reaching up to the sky, or the right thigh and hip reaching up to the sky. Helping our right toes find their way forward into our lunge. As our back heel grounds, we're reaching forward into our warrior one and inhaling, chest open, lifting over the ribs. Feel everything squeeze into the midline of the body, squeezing through the ribs, the hips, lengthen through the spine. And from here, fingertips reach towards our shoulder blades. Feel a little cradling of the head. And with our inhale, pushing the heart and the chin towards the sky. And then relaxing back to neutral. Squeezing open. Turning back. Just a couple more. Reaching open. Stretching back. Reaching open. And like that. Now from here, we're going to rest our hands on our hips. As the front foot takes on more weight, maybe the back heel floats up. And then we're going to have the option to push the back thigh towards the ground. If you need more space in the leg, you can widen out the stance or make it more narrow. Or feeling that the back thigh pushing towards the ground and then back tall. And then when we feel stability, back thigh down or up, let's inhale and pull the heart towards the sky, just as far as it wants to go. And then exhale, rest it down. Let's return to child's pose or downward dog. Maybe relaxing here just for a moment. Maybe finding some movement, option for plank or kneeling plank to stay. We're welcome to exhale with control, elbows into the ribs. Inhale and pull the heart open. Exhaling, resting back. Take just a moment to breathe. Give our bodies a few lazy breaths. Option to travel the left foot up to the sky into a three-legged dog, and then helping our foot find its way forward into our lunge. Creating that warrior one. Back heel grounds. We're inhaling the chest forward. Feel everything reach into the midline of the body. Shoulders, tips towards the shoulders. Cradling the head with sky. And then exhaling back to neutral. Inhale, reach open. Exhale back. Just a couple more breaths. Lifting, releasing, lifting. We're going to relax our arms, rest our hands on the hip, feel the front foot take on the weight, the back heel lift, and widen the stance if that feels more stable, or feel the back thigh pushing towards the ground. It doesn't have to make a very big movement, just feeling that openness through the front of the back thigh, releasing those hip flexors. A couple of breaths. And the back thigh lifted or lowered. Let's inhale, pull the heart towards the sky, and then exhale it back down. Using child's pose, maybe downward dog, maybe moment of movement through our thighs, slow release through our breath. Continuing where we're at, option to inhale through plank or kneeling plank. Maybe we stay, take a few breaths to find strength through the spine, through the thighs, through the core, and breathe. So we're finding our way back to child's pose or downward dog, taking a moment to breathe. Option for the three-legged dog with the right toes, reaching to the sky, or right thigh and hip, reaching up to the sky. We're going to have the right foot come forward into lunge, releasing the back knee. We're walking our palms up to the front thigh, feeling inner thigh engagement, spine tall, shoulders rest. And we're going to start with the arm of the back leg, maybe that's your left arm, reaching up to the sky. And then we're sending that arm over the head, feeling that big stretch through the left thigh, hip, rib, shoulder, spine, pit. Feel that lymphatic system saying hello, releasing our toxins in our body. And when I lengthen tall, feel the thumb reaching back, and then our inhale pulls our chest as far open as we feel stable. Now we're going to relax the hand to the hip. The other arm reaches up to the sky, stretching it over the head, feeling the side rib cage open and burning. And we'll send our bodies back to neutral here and lift the heart towards the sky. And we'll send that hand to the hip. From here, we're going to have the option to have a little bit of movement. So maybe we stretch the front leg towards straight, and maybe we bend the knee. It doesn't have to be a big movement, just finding where our bodies bounce, lengthen and release. Now, from that bent knee option, slowing our arms up to the sky. Then from here, we're going to let one arm reach over the head, the other arm reaches towards the back thigh, and then the other arm reaches over our head, the other arm towards the back thigh. And we feel just a little flowing movement, side to side, finding that release with our breath. Maybe one more on each side. And then as we feel a little evenness, thumbs reach to the sky, reaching the chest open. Relaxing our hands on the hips, feel your thumbs. Maybe push the tailbone further forward, depends on how our body's feeling today. Feel that big stretch in the hip flexor. And as our fingertips rest to the ground, allowing that front leg to stretch back towards straight, feeling that length through the front leg, length through the spine. Take a moment to breathe. And as we find our way back to the lunge option, to twist towards the front thigh and lift the lungs. And then we're moving back. Child's pose or downward dog. Maybe a moment of relaxation. Maybe a moment of movement. Maybe stretching through plank or kneeling plank. Again, we can stay or exhale. Elbows in. Inhale, open. Exhaling, hips resting back. Letting our bodies release just for a moment. Deep resting breaths. We like the three-legged dog option. Returning to the downward dog with our left toes stretching up towards the sky. Maybe thigh towards the sky. And then anytime we're ready, foot comes up into our lunge. Relaxing the back knee, sending palms to the front thigh, picking up our ribs, resting to our shoulders. So the arm of the back leg, maybe that's your right arm, reaches up to the sky and stretches over the head, creating that big openness through the hip, the thigh, the arm, and breathing. Feeling the fingertips reach up to the sky, tall spine. We can inhale, pull the heart further open. And then from here, resting that hand on the hip. The other hand reaches up to the sky. Feel the stability through the thigh of the hip as the top arm stretches over the head, and we open up the side body. Breathe. As we find neutral. Feel the spine reach tall, and then maybe the chest reaches open. And then we're resting both hands on our hips. Options for stillness, options to stretch the front leg towards straight, and then maybe return to the lunge. Choosing any range of motion, any pace of movement, to feel that reach and release into our breath. And as we feel the body return to the lunge. Inhaling both arms up to the sky. And then we're going to reach one arm over the head, one arm towards the back thigh. The other arm over the head, the other arm towards the back thigh. And we find this little bit of flowing movement, side to side, as we breathe. As we find a little evenness in our movement, both hands on the hip, feel your thumbs push that hip pelvic bowl forward. Big openness in our hip flexors. And releasing fingertips to the ground, stretching that front leg back towards straight. Our spine finds length. Taking just a moment to breathe through the stretch in our leg, our spine. As we return to the lunge, we can add our twist, turning towards the front line. And then we're resting. Child's pose or downward dog. Feeling just a moment of rest and release for our breath. Option to keep the arms stretching forward. Maybe we pull the arms over towards one side, stretching through our side body, and breathe. Send the arms back to the center and then maybe over towards the other side, stretching through our breath. As we find the center, we can continue in child's pose or downward dog. We can inhale, finding plank or kneeling plank. We can stay, maybe add the flow with our elbows folding in. Inhaling, the heart opens. Exhaling, the hips release and we relax. Find a moment to breathe. And wherever we're at, sending our feet up towards our hands, letting our bodies relax in our forward fold. Fingertips on the floor, the shins on the thighs. We're finding a place where our head and neck might find a little up and down movement. Maybe just a little bit of side to side movement. Maybe a little up and down again. Let's inhale, lift up halfway. Pushing through the heels, we're inhaling all the way. Heart reaches up to the sky. Relaxing the arms. Feel a little sway movement as we relax shoulders. Ribs on the back and breathe. Alright, so from here, we're going to find a place to balance, starting with our tree pose, widening through one foot, arch, lift, thighs engaged, knee joint softens. The other thigh goes forward or up to the side. Let's squeeze it in, lift it up, find our grounding, palms at the heart. Toe can stay on the ground, maybe the toe floats, maybe the foot finds the calf, maybe the heel rests inside the thigh, feel the hips open, spine tall, with palms together, or resting, or reaching. Just a moment to breathe, feel that lift in our lungs, relaxing through our breath. Finding release with our hands, our joints get a little bit of movement, our feet, hands relax. Let the other foot feel the ground, thigh engaged, knee joints open. Other thigh forward or open. Let's squeeze it in and up. Ground the palms on our focal point. Maybe toes on the ground or floating. Maybe foot's on the calf or the inner thigh. Palms can stay at the heart. Palms can rest. Palms can reach. Anywhere we're feeling pretty stable today, let's relax through our breath. find a little relaxation. Let's move our joints a bit. And we're going to trade legs and the other foot to the floor, the other toe wide. And reaching out our arms for star. We have a few options here. So as that grounded foot takes on the weight, the toe reaching out can float, or we can actively push through the heel and feel the strength in our side body opening us out. So again, stay here, or maybe the top knee bends and the hand finds the shin and you feel this little sideways dancer pose. That feels like a good option. Breathe. And anytime you're ready, we'll relax that side down, relax our joints, trading sides. The other foot takes on the weight, arms are wide. Again, stay toe floating or push through the heel, open into this big star pose. Feel the obliques helping keep us lifted. Maybe feel like bending the top knee and our hand can find the shin. You find this little sideways dancer pose. So hip release as we breathe. And as we're ready for rest, shaking out our joints, finding relaxation. Let's move to the front of our mats as we lift our heart to the sky, swan diving down, all the way back to child's pose or jump dog. Maybe feeling just a little flowy movement to the back of the leg. And breathe. Option to inhale the right toes up to the sky and help the right knee to pigeon. So to help the right knee reach forward, the back knee can just relax where it landed, or you can use the back toes to send the tailbone closer towards the ground, or prop up the hip. Our hands can come in. Maybe we lift the lungs. As we inhale, maybe we rest forward. So anywhere you're feeling the best stretch today, we're creating just a few releasing exhales to our hip, resting through our breath. Arms guiding our ribs back open. We're feeling as much lift through the front side body as available. Trying to get the stretch all the way through that front hip flexor up towards the chest. And as we ground the palms and tuck the back toe, sending the front foot back where it came from. Take a moment to breathe. And we're ready. Right side, maybe the left toe feels like reaching up or out. And then we can help the left knee up towards the left wrist. The back knee can relax. Or the toe can send the hip deeper to the ground. We can stay. Or maybe open up a little deeper and stay. Or fold in. Anywhere we're feeling a good stretch today. And let our bodies release. Just a few resting breaths. Relaxing into our exhales. Letting that next inhale open up our chest, and maybe reach the chest as far open as the body allows today. Opening through the front side body. ground our palms, tuck into our back toes, helping the front foot reach back where it came from, wherever that feels like a good stretch at the moment. And then maybe we relax into downward dog with the option to move our hips and knees just a bit, side to side. And then resting our knees to the ground, find this all fours position. Add a little flow side to side. Shoulders and hips reach towards each other. Shoulders and hips reach on the other side. Just a little release in our spine, side to side. Now we'll walk our hands up towards our hips, stacking our hips, knees, and shoulders, creating this tall line in our spine. Feel our thumbs resting at the base of our hip. You find those little notches in your arm. And then we're going to put the hips as far forward as possible and lift the lungs. Just a moment to breathe. And then we'll come to neutral. Now from here, I'm going to show you just a little flowing movement, starting with least intense and then moving to most intense. So I'll let one arm reach up to the sky, stretch the arm over the head, and then back. The other arm over to the side, the other arm over the head. Now you can stay with this movement or you can slide the hand down towards the thigh to reach over. Or you can start reaching back towards one foot and reaching back towards the other foot. So feeling the inner thigh, lower belly engagement, helping us with any flowing movement that works the best on our spine today. We all have different spinal anatomy, so taking care of what our body needs from us today. Let's do one more each side, whatever variation our body feels the best about. And then we're going to rest our hands back at the hips, return to our all fours option, to a little flow side to side. Shoulders reach towards one side, shoulders reach towards the other side, and a little release side to side. And then we'll let our elbows rest for a moment, stretch our hips back to child's pose, feel that release through the lower back, the ribs, the shoulders. And then from here, we'll walk our hands back up to our hips. You can stay thumbs here, or you can add fist or palms, choosing what feels the most stable. For a moment to squeeze those shoulder blades together, elbows towards each other, and think about your thighs and hips pushing forward, and the inner thighs squeezing in and pulling up like an elevator to our rib cage. So maybe we hang out here. We're already in a small back bend. We can stay in the small back bend, or we can think about our ribs and our heart lifting up to the sky. We can hang out with hands on the hips. If you love a camel pose, you're welcome to send one hand or both hands towards the heels and lift the chest. Take a moment to breathe. If you're doing one hand, you might want to trade and do the other hand. And we'll feel even now. We'll bring our hands back, move our bodies into that all fours. Feel that little flow side to side, shoulders and hips stretching towards each other, and breathe. And as we find ourselves in a little bit evenness, we'll send the right elbow or fingertips up to the sky and reach them under. Create a little flowing movement, opening and releasing. Just a moment to stretch shoulders, ribs, by breath. We can stay flowing. Or the next time the arm reaches under, you can let it stay. Shoulders towards the ground, side of the head towards the ground as we feel that openness in our side body and breathe. And as we find ourselves back in all fours, we can trade arms, maybe the left elbow or fingertips reach up, and then stretch under. A little open and release as we breathe. So again, we keep the movement flowing. We can let the shoulder, the side of the head rest to the ground and create as much release as our body feels comfortable with today, creating relaxation through our exhales. We'll return to all fours, sinking our bodies back to child's pose. Maybe reaching our fingertips as far to the front of the mat as possible, and our tailbone and our fingertips pull away from each other and breathe. We'll inhale, lift up the spine, send our tailbone to the ground, and our legs reach out ahead of us. Feel that little flowing movement in our hips as we rock our tailbone just a bit side to side. From here, let's send one heel in, picking up the ribs on the inhale, and start to turn towards our bent knee. Maybe it's just a small movement, inhale, lifting, exhale, twisting. Feel as much lift and release as our front spine feels good about today. Relax through the breath. As we find neutral, we can trade legs. So the bent knee lengthens, the straight leg bends. Lifting on the inhale, let's twist with our exhale, lengthening and releasing the spine. And we'll find neutral, let both legs stretch out, rock our hips, keeping the legs straight or adding that soft bend in the knees. We'll lift the ribs on the inhale, reach the heart towards the thighs on the exhale. Let our hands relax wherever it's comfortable, and our body fold wherever it feels the best release today, and rest and relax through our breath. Just a few resting exhales. And as our spine grows tall, our shoulders release. And I let the knees bend so that our heels feel the ground, and then feel the spine grow tall. Now you have the option to stay on the tailbone flat, or you're welcome to kind of roll towards one hip. Now if it's available, we're going to float in this little twisted boat. And your boat can be still. You can fold in and out this twisted option, just a little strength. Obliques, outer hip, shoulders. And then we'll come to neutral, let our shoulders relax just a moment to breathe. And then again, we can boat neutral or roll towards the other hip, maybe float to stay, or open and fold just a bit. Feel a little evenness, leaning back in the middle, resting, or finding our traditional boat, the knees bent, or if you feel like extending the legs, take a moment to breathe. As we rest, let our shoulders relax. Bringing our feet to the front of our mat, creating space to release behind us. Lifting on the inhale, we can hold on or release out as our spine finds. Letting our arms maybe stretch over the head or just relax by our side. Thinking about the top of the head and the heels pulling away from each other as we feel that big stretch in our spine. And then anytime we're ready, we can relax. Maybe bending the elbows, feeling release in our shoulders, feeling release in our ribs, the tailbone, the lower back. Find a moment to breathe. And we slide the heels in towards the hips, Taking a moment to relax the tailbone, to relax the lower back. Feel the ribs, the shoulders all pushing in to the ground. We're welcome to stay here enjoying stillness in this releasing, restful position. We can reach into bridge pose, sliding fingertips towards the heels, grounding shoulders, forearm, and feet, and then maybe inhaling by hips and heart towards the sky. Feeling that expansion through the front side body, opening and lifting. Inner thighs are engaging. Feeling that lift. Heels can energetically press back as the inner thighs energetically engage. Feel that strength through the legs, the tailbone. Keep resting for our breath. And we'll end up releasing the spine to the ground. Option to set the feet wide. We can add in a few windshield wiper movements. Thighs flowing to one side, thighs flowing to the other side. Feeling just a little relaxation for our tailbone, releasing the lower back, relaxing our ribs and our shoulders. So if our body's really enjoying this windshield wipering movement, we're welcome to stay windshield wipering. We can have the option to stack the knees over the hips and ground the shoulders as our knees start flowing side to side, maybe a little bit to one side, a little bit to the other side, or as deep of a movement as the obliques feel like taking us into today as we stretch side to side and breathe. And then from wherever we're at, option to hug the thighs to the chest and relax the spine. Maybe rock just a bit side to side, relaxing for just a moment. And with our hands either on the thighs or the top of the knees, we'll start circling the knees on the ceiling. Big movement in the thighs as much as you feel stable to release the tailbone, to relax it to the lower back. So we can stay with this big circling movement. Trade the direction of the circling movement, creating our body's range of motion, our body's pace of movement, and massaging that lower back region, lower back, our hips up towards the ribs. We can stay circling, or as we find a little evenness, beginning to inhale thighs away from the chest, exhaling thighs towards the chest. Just a little relaxed back and forth as we breathe. And then as we feel the knees hanging out over our hips, the forearms, lower back pushing to the ground, maybe our knees travel to the left as far as they want to go, and gaze to the right as far as they want. Our spine would like to release into that rotation and feel a little rest and release through the shoulders, the ribs, the hips, the lower back, resting into the breath. As we send our body back to neutral, we can reach over to the other side, driving the knees to the right, gazing to the left, relaxing through the spine, shoulders, ribs, hips, tailbone, all relaxing as we breathe, keep resting breath. We send our bodies back to neutral, returning the thighs to the chest, planting the spine on the ground in stillness, or adding just a little rocking movement side to side. And from here, we're welcome to move into any other stretch our body would like an extra release in today. Whenever our bodies are ready for stillness, we have the option option to send the feet wide and relax the knees together, feeling rest through the tailbone, the ribs, the shoulders, the back, the neck. We can stay here in this recovery pose option. If we'd like a little bit more hip release today, maybe the soles of the feet come together and the thighs and hips open wide, and we find a little relaxation here in our reclined butterfly. Maybe we just hang out with that external rotation release in our hip. Or we can create our traditional Shavasana with our legs extended, our feet open, our palms open, our body resting. Anywhere we're feeling a good place to relax, let's travel in those long, deep breaths from our nose towards the belly, allowing the breath to relax back out of the belly, back out of the nose. We can stay just with our belly breath. We can start to think about our breath expanding through the entire spine. So maybe we think about our inhale traveling from our belly up through the ribs, up through the heart. Our exhale relaxing from our shoulders, the ribs, the lower back. And keep that little flowing movement as we breathe, belly, ribs, heart. Exhaling, shoulders, ribs, lower back. And we feel that deep expansion through the lungs with each inhale, that deep release in our spine as we exhale, noticing the breath, maybe even pulling in any extra sensations with each inhale. And as we exhale, allowing those extra sensations to release down into the floor, finding more peace and rest with each breath. So allowing stillness and relaxation with each breath. Traveling the breath into the fingers and the toes, welcoming any movements at any time our body would like. Gathering the breath into the hands and the feet, feeling relaxation through the wrists and ankles, breathing through the lower legs, the lower arms, relaxing through the knees, the elbows, releasing through the thighs, the hips, the upper arms, the shoulders. And maybe we feel a little release as we hug our thighs to the chest and ground the spine into the floor, finding stillness and a little bit of movement as we breathe through the tailbone, the lower back, the ribs, the shoulders, the neck, the head, resting here, a few deep breaths. So welcome to continue relaxing side to side at any time. Maybe we rest over onto our side for a moment, allowing our head to rest in our head, hands over our upper arm, and feel the flowing, releasing breaths from one side don't need today. For the other side, down into the ground. Taking just a moment to breathe. And we're guiding our bodies up into our comfortable seated option, choosing the stillness for our tailbone, the length in our spine, our shoulders relaxed. Taking our chin towards one shoulder, let's gaze back behind us. And then back to neutral, let's reach over towards the other shoulder. And then back to neutral, ear towards the shoulder, side of neck open. Lifting tall and over towards the other side. As we lift tall, sliding our shoulders up and down a few times. With our shoulders relaxing, let's open the palms and inhale, fingertips to the sky. Exhaling, thumbs to the heart. Inhaling as we lift. Exhaling as we lower. Finding one more breath. Inhale, open. Exhaling, rest. Namaste. Thank you for joining me. Hope that your spine feels happy. Relaxed, maybe not. I don't know. Some days to work, some days don't work.